A big delay in the Blade Runner murder trial. The Oscar Pistorius case now adjourned until April 7th because one of the two court assessors was hospitalized. South Africa does not have a jury trial system, and the assessors are people who help the judge decide the verdict. Pistorius killed his girlfriend, Reva Steenkamp, last year. The question is, was it murder? Let's bring in Fred Tesey, a former federal prosecutor. Also with us, Phil Snyder, a criminal defense attorney. So, Phil, if you're helping in a criminal case and you get some kind of a break like this, a long period of time off, does it help you? Does it help the prosecution?
Absolutely. In this case, it helps the defense, and here's why. There's an effect called primacy and recency. Primacy is the beginning of the case, recency is the end of the case. Those are the two most important times in a jury trial, or in this case, a bench trial. Well, the state's case, the most important witness was the beginning witnesses, the witnesses who heard the screams that say that there were multiple gunshots. In this case, now that there's a delay, that takes it farther in duration away from that and allows the defense more time to prepare, and hopefully the judge will consider the defense's case and spend less time focusing on the state's primary evidence. All
right, but Fred, the judge and the two assessors have heard the prosecution's case till now. It's all been prosecution, all anti-Oscar Pistorius. Now they have a week to think about it.
Not only that, you know, Phil's a great lawyer. Right analysis, wrong outcome. Primacy and latency is exactly what we're talking about. But here's the thing. They heard the state's case, which ended with what I thought was compelling testimony about how the first shot came through the door and ripped through this woman's hood, her hip, blood splatter everywhere. I think they now have a week for that to kind of percolate and sink in. And you know, people filter information based upon, you know, what conclusions they've come to, and now they're going to look at the defense case having thought about this for a week. I think this inures to the prosecution's benefit big time. Not that they need it.
Phil, there is an awful lot of, it's a pretty tall hill for the defense to climb, it seems. I mean, there was testimony that she had eaten just a couple of hours before the shooting, which happened at 1 a.m. Oscar Pistorius claimed they were both in bed asleep by 10 p.m. There were screams heard ahead of the gunshots, or maybe basically concurrent with the gunshots. It doesn't sound like the story that he told investigators really matches up here.
No, Oscar has a difficult time. I mean, take away the Keystone Cops because they did a horrendous investigation, but the state's powerful witnesses were these original screams that documented that she was in the bathroom screaming and he could have heard that. So the most important testimony is going to be Oscar, and if the judge believes Oscar's testimony, he could be set free. If not, he has an uphill battle because he's going to be spending a lot of time in prison.
So, Fred, you're the former prosecutor. If he gets on the stand, what's the first question you ask him?
If he gets on the stand, what's the first question I ask him? I go through with him in painstaking detail the inconsistencies between his testimony and the physical evidence. And you know what I ask him, John? The first question I ask him is, why is it when your girlfriend is lying, bleeding, dying in the bathroom, that the first call you make is to the administrator for your estate? You didn't call the police. You didn't call the ambulance. They were the second and third calls. So that's the first question I ask him.
So that suggests that his motivation here, well, was about anything but Reva Steenkamp.
Correct. I mean, come on. The fact of the matter is that he pumped 4 bullets through that door. The first one hit her in the hip. If he was really shooting at an intruder, he would have heard the screams and stopped. I mean, any first-year law student will tell you that the requisite intent for murder could be between the first and the second and third and fourth shots. The holster was under where she was supposed to be sleeping in the bed. You know, the guy goes to the door and shoots. I don't care if he has his prosthesis on or not. If he was really afraid, human nature is you cower. I think the evidence against the guy is overwhelming.
All right, Phil, what do you think? Does he stand a chance of escaping a conviction in this case?
I think he stands a chance, and only because, you know, Fred makes a good point that the first call he made was to this administrator. However, everything that Oscar has said to this point has been backed up. Now, the only question that remains, and it is an enormous question, is why didn't he alert Reva when he thought there was an intruder in the room? And that is going to be the most important question, and I don't know how he's going to answer it, but if he does answer it, I think the judge could give him leniency and not convict him on the premeditated first-degree murder.
How about the cell phones in the bathroom with her? You don't get up and take cell phones with you in the bathroom in the middle of the night. I mean, I think well, I mean, we'll see what happens, but I think the guy's guilty.
And there were some pretty incriminating text messages, too, as well, brought into evidence.
Yeah, exactly.
Fred Tesey, Phil Snyder, thank you both.
Thank you.